to all of you that could join us live. For those of you that are catching up later, I hope you will find this equally as powerful. We have a 10 sequential gap day period that we are entering today. So what we kick off and initiate today is going to be something that can be continued very powerfully and deepened over the next 10 days. So I'll give you a little bit more insight into that in just a moment. But you'll see that the symbols that I've actually chosen to represent the session and the energy that we're going to work with today is what is known as the Ouroboros. It's the serpent eating its tail. And this is hugely symbolic in the realms of sacred symbolism and very, very relevant to where this energetic journey is actually going to take us. I've been quite flabbergasted over the past couple of weeks with the information that has been dropping in and threads that are being connected that strengthen our physiological and biological connection right through the very cells in our body with the divine universe, with the all that is, that really add more weight to the understanding that our physical body is a template. It's a manifestation from the universe itself, and we've got this as without, so within concept. And this sacred symbol of the serpent eating its tail is just hugely, hugely significant. And connected in a way that I don't think many other people have actually connected it within the physiology of our body. Obviously, the biological aspect is really close to my own heart because my founding, if you like, in the scientific disciplines was done through a life sciences degree. So I do find that whatever insights I get into sacred symbolism always seem to take me back to somehow the biological aspect. I'm guided to stuff in sort of very powerful ways. Not only that, but my journey in the last couple of weeks since we did the January gathering and the January get-together has really taken me deep into the realms of symbolism and how symbolism affects our unconscious mind and actually affects our energy bodies and the way that we act out and behave in the world and what our DNA ultimately does and transcribes in terms of supporting our physical, our physiology, our physical activities, etc. So there's a very, very strong link back to the DNA. The realm of symbolism has been quite fascinating because I want to give you a little quote that I picked up from Michael Tazarian, and I've mentioned him in my previous newsletter. And what he says is that there are 240,000 miles of neural threads in the human brain, enough to stretch from Earth to the moon. On every micrometer of these threads, there exist 250,000 units of information. So you get some idea of the kind of information repository we actually have within our physical being, and this is also key. This data that is stored in each micrometer of these threads is recorded only as pictograms, as symbols in symbolic form. So we have an incredible resonance with shapes, colors, forms, and symbols. And this gives us some idea. So it's composite images and not as words. So it gives us some idea of the power of symbols to affect our very existence, our belief systems, the way that we behave, and our very belief systems about life itself. Not only that, they give us access to the greater wisdoms of the universe. So very, very powerful. In addition to that, what I have also been learning is the extent to which these sacred symbols have actually been subverted by the media in adverts in such a way that they can be so subtle that our conscious mind does not or cannot see what is actually happening, but our unconscious mind registers it. And when one does a little bit of a study of this, we find out how those symbols have actually been used in the media and manipulated to subvert our living conscious connection with the ultimate breath of life and with the divine mother, if you like, the grandmother, the goddess, the breath and the support of life itself that is actually expressed through symbolism. And those symbolisms have been distorted in our unconscious mind, which is one of the reasons why the feminine power, and this is not about being feminist, but the rise of the goddess energy and the feminine power and the true source of divine power has actually been subverted not only in women, but in every single human being. And I want to just expand on that a little bit because that has relevance for where we are at right now and the journey that we are going to take. And I see Hillary is actually typing. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you at the moment. The one thing that is key is that this symbol represents the divine, sacred feminine. The snake eating its tail, actually the Ouroboros represents the divine feminine. And I actually loved this image particularly. You've got the snake head eating its tail, but inside of it you actually see this opening into the universe, this opening into the wisdom of the earth and opening into the wisdom of the universe itself. So the universe, through this and through our body, becomes a personal relationship that we have with it through the sacred feminine, and that it's not just, how can I put that, not just an impersonal relationship. It's not just the universe, the external universe. It becomes real and it becomes living through every cell in our body. And the reason why this is actually so important at the moment, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, I did put this image up on my website. This is the Mayan Tzolk'in, which represents their 260-day cycle. And within this 260 days, they identify a number of days as what are called gap days, the galactic activation portal days. Now, let me show you this image because it might make it a little bit clearer. Here we go. This is the one I put up on my website. If you actually look at the way that these gap days have been allocated, what you can see if you follow this spiral around is it actually looks like a DNA strand. The DNA which holds the encodings and the information. So again, we have a pictorial representation of this. And these all represent different gap days that occur during this 260-day Tzolk'in period, or calendar, the Mayan calendar, the sacred calendar. And this was constructed over many, many years, and it has been held sacred by the Maya through cycles and cycles and cycles of time. What we actually find here, and this is where we are at right now, this is a column of 10 gap days in a row. So it represents an alignment with and through the gap days to the deeper wisdoms and knowledge that the universe can bring into being through us if we align ourselves appropriately with it. And that's really what we're going to be doing today. So we have these 10 gap days, this opportunity that we have here. What happens after this is that we then go through a period of 5 other days, and then we traverse what is called the mystical column, and then we have 5 more days, and we enter another period of 10 gap days, where we have the opportunity to bring the wisdoms that have been achieved or obtained through this particular time into physical manifestation through the application of our masculine energy. So we have a particular orientation and focus at the moment on going within to harness the feminine wisdom. Okay, so this is where that's coming from. Now, the other thing which is particularly interesting, since the beginning of this year, is not only have I been drawn to exploring a lot more of the sacred goddess, the sacred feminine energy, but there have been a lot of messages coming from different directions that this is the year where that memory and that energy is going to be awakened more strongly within people. There is already a call for an event on the equinox. It's taking place in America, where 13 indigenous grandmothers, the wisdom keepers, are going to be pulled together in sacred ceremony. So this whole message about the wisdom of the grandmothers, the wisdom of the sacred feminine, the wisdom of the goddess being known and accessed through every human being is already becoming stronger within our conscious awareness. So if we can utilize the flow, the wave that we are being carried along with the energies of this year, we can really maximize and harness a lot more of that power. And of course, residing within the sacred feminine, we have the power of wisdom. We have the power that the ancients knew of, the ancient power of magic, the power to be able to access the wisdom and magic of the universal source, the source of life itself, the power and the wisdom of the divine, truly of the divine. So we enter into the cosmic womb and the wisdom of the goddess, or the prime mother, through this journey and through this time. Now, one of the things that I have been guided to through this little journey in the last sort of couple of weeks has been into an aspect of our cellular physiology, the structure of the very cells in our body, which is actually called the mitochondrion. Now, the mitochondrion is a tiny little, we know the cell and we know the DNA in the nucleus of the cell. We're all familiar with the fact that in the nucleus of the cell we have the DNA that replicates itself and gets passed down through future generations and so on. So most of us are sort of quite au fait with that. But what really fascinated me was I was prompted to look at the DNA that exists elsewhere within our bodies, because the nuclear DNA is not the only DNA in existence. And within each cell in our body, we have these little organelles called mitochondria, because there are lots of them that exist within the cells. The mitochondria themselves, now this is a very powerful analogy and insight and understanding, is that the mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of the cell. In other words, it is the mitochondria and in these little organelles that the energy is produced to be able to fuel all of the other processes that our body actually undertakes. And I'm not going into the chemistry or the biology of it, because if you want to, you can go and look it up. But it's called the Krebs cycle, and this is also significant because the so-called Krebs cycle is really talking about cellular respiration. So we are talking about life. We are talking about breath. We are talking about energy through breath. Okay? So that's what these little mitochondria do. Now, residing within these mitochondria, and this is key, residing within these little organelles is another aspect of DNA that most people do not actually acknowledge. It's been isolated, it's been left there and ignored in the mitochondria, but this is a little blow-up of your double-stranded DNA as it appears in the mitochondrion of each cell, and that DNA exists as a perfect circle. And at the top of this circle, you have what is called the control point, or the control region. So it is this region that actually determines what is transcribed, what is used within this DNA. And this DNA contains the genes that make the proteins which govern the energy cycles, okay, which direct the physiological processes. So we are talking circles of DNA. No other DNA in the body exists in this circular form. So I already want to draw your attention back to the initial slide, to that Ouroboros and the snake eating its tail, because there are more analogies in terms of the symbolism that I want to draw for you. But immediately that you look at that, you can see the snake eating its tail. The DNA is often referred to as serpent-like in nature. Eating its tail, you have a perfect circle. We also know that the Ouroboros is linked with the eternal nature of life itself, and it is linked with the divine feminine. Now, here's another key in terms of this particular DNA, is that contained within the DNA in the mitochondrion is the matriarchal, or the information about the matriarchal lineages right back to the primal, what they call the primal Eves, the first female forms of life on Earth. So it was life giving birth through the feminine, and the information encoded in this, they can trace back right to the very first females on this planet. Now that is quite mind-blowing, because it is passed down from female to all of their children, male or female. So every single human being actually carries the matriarchal DNA in every mitochondrion, in every cell in their body, which means they carry the history of all of life itself right back to the primal mother in every mitochondrion in the body. Does that make sense to you guys? Are you starting to see the significance of this? And why there's such a powerful link back with the woman? And this mitochondrial DNA and the links back to the first females ever is a scientific fact. They have been known to sort of trace this back to the first women that ever existed. And what happens, for instance, is that when you get propagation, when you get the ovum and the sperm coming together in the generation of new life, the enzymes that are produced by the ovum at that point destroy the mitochondria in the sperm. So the only mitochondria that exist, the source of all power, come from the matriarchal lineage back to the first female that ever lived. So all of the wisdom through the lineages of grandmothers, of goddess energy, of the primal divine feminine force is held within this DNA in the mitochondria and not the nucleus. So I hope that does that make it a little bit clearer for you in terms of the importance of the symbolism, and linking us back to another aspect of our physiology that has actually been ignored. So fascinating is to find out that the actions of this particular, the proteins that are produced by this DNA, which are the powerhouse of the cell, these proteins and what it does are governed by instructions from the DNA in the nucleus. So it's almost as if this primal female, feminine, divine energy has been subverted to the nuclear instructions and whatever has been encoded into the DNA. There is huge significance to this because, in essence, sort of 13,500 years ago, or even before that, our DNA was tampered with. Our nuclear DNA was tampered with. And all of this information was subverted. Now think about the way that the symbolism has actually been put to us through religion and through the media, and how we have been taught to fear the serpent. And this impacts us at a very, very deep level, that our attention has been drawn away completely from this particular powerhouse of energy, information, lineage, and history. True wisdom and true history accessed through this DNA, and not the nuclear DNA necessarily. Now, one of the little snippets of information that I was given, and this is not scientifically proven yet, but there is a link, is that one of the things that dropped in for me was that in eons gone by, this particular DNA was able to operate autonomously, that it provided the power, the source, and the guidance for the rest of the things that our body actually did. And I wondered about this, and just today what dropped in for me really, really powerfully was the fact that when the Kundalini energy, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, Kundalini is known as the serpent force which rises through our body up the spine. We get the serpent again. It is associated with female energy. It is known as she, the divine feminine, that brings transformation. And incidentally, the Tzolk'in or the Mayan period that we are in is what is called the Blue Castle of chaos and transformation. So perhaps it's also no mistake that we're talking about accessing and harnessing this power at the moment. So just hold that in mind. However, Kundalini itself is known as the divine feminine presence, the force of transformation. Now, when that energy starts rising up the spine, what it does is it generates incredible, incredible energy in the body. And that primal spiritual force, through the actions of Kundalini, overrides any other instructions, and it basically prompts, it sends these little mitochondria in the cells in our body into overdrive. So the amount of energy that our body produces and is experienced as extreme heat is profound through the actions of Kundalini. So here you get that primal feminine force rising. It activates this ring of DNA within the mitochondrion, because one of the other experiences through the arousal and the connection with this force and with this energy is that we suddenly experience more enlightenment than what we had before, than what we were capable of seeing or experiencing before. So it's like Kundalini cuts through all of the other programming and opens up this stargate into the history and the wisdom of life itself. Okay, so there's another little connection, A, with the serpent, and B, with the powerhouses, with the power and energy of production, of energy production within our bodies, and how our unconscious belief systems have become so distorted through this fear of the serpent, through the programming of religion, through eons, not just our current conscious lifetime, through our ancestors and through eons. We've been programmed into shutting that connection down. And this is what we're going to do tonight, is we're going to work on accessing and harnessing and going straight into this connection. So we're going to bypass all of this, and we're going to work on this portal as a stargate. So I hope that's kind of setting the stage for you in terms of understanding. The other thing that I actually just want to draw your attention to is the ancient symbolism of the female form that is associated with the tree of life and the serpent. And you see this reflected throughout medieval art, throughout a lot of history, and it's arcane symbolism which ties in the female or the feminine and the tree of life, or that's the wisdom, and the serpent. Okay, so this is actually seen as a thread, and we kind of think, well, it's just really a nice picture, but it's not. That symbolism repeats itself over and over and over again through many, many different cultures. The other thing here is that the Kabbalistic tree of life and the mystical teachings talk of 22 pathways that are associated with the key manifestations of the divine. So in the Tree of Life or the Kabbalah, you actually see 10 Zephirot, which are the outpourings or manifestations of the divine, and connecting those are 22 different pathways, which are pathways to the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of the self. Well, guess what? The mitochondrial DNA has 22 genes which actually work together to control and manage the Krebs cycle, but the production of energy and the opening of that that breath of life, the fullness of that breath of life in our physical form. So to me, that was such a really powerful analogy. We've got mitochondrial DNA, circular and symbolic of the Ouroboros and the serpent. So we've got the 22 genes linking to 22 pathways of the tree of life. Mitochondrial DNA is also associated with the production of energy, in other words, power. And mitochondrial DNA falls under the governance of nuclear DNA. So it's been subverted to the control of a force outside of itself. Okay? The other thing which a lot of you who have been connected with me and following a lot of this work over a number of years now will know that the tree of life, or the Kabbalistic tree of life, as interpreted by the Sefer Yetzirah, Book of Magic, is actually an octahedron. It's a diamond. So within our biology, we have the symbolism, we have the diamond in the golden ring of our mitochondrial DNA, which is our access to ancient wisdom and the ultimate divine essence. So we have a link between the tree of life, the octahedron, and the mitochondrial DNA. I just want to show you a couple of other images here which I picked up, and I thought these are so revealing, because these are artists and they've reflected the Ouroboros, connected it with the wisdom of the owl. So the serpent, the circular serpent, so that's the wisdom of the divine feminine. The owl is also associated with Athena, the goddess who is associated with divine wisdom. Here we find the Ouroboros and the triangle is one of the many facets of the diamond, the ultimate trinity. Here we find the Ouroboros, and inside of it we actually have the yin and the yang, so it contains and holds within itself the balance of all. Another way of expressing the yin and the yang, and bringing it all together is actually through the diamond, through the balancing of the diamond. And here we have the Ouroboros, and guess what's depicted inside of it, coming from very Celtic traditions, is actually the tree of life. So it's kind of like deep within our unconscious, we already have and know these connections. It's just we've never gone into that which exists within our physiology and taken that journey into the inherent wisdom that resides within us. We know that it's there. We've been told that it's there. We know that we are, sort of manifestations of a holy temple, a divine expression within our physical form. But this mitochondrial DNA enables us to unlock more of that understanding and wisdom that is relevant for us at this moment in time, or at any moment in time. It enables us to harness more of the power that we can bring into being through our physical form and into the grids of life itself. And this is what is so significant, because what we do is helping to restore the fabric, the diamond fabric of the grids of the planet. It's not only restoring the fabric of our own grids, it's restoring the fabric of the grids of the planet, all with the original knowledge and knowing of the divine feminine. And here, how's this for a wonderful depiction? I thought, how appropriate that tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day is associated often with engagements and rings and diamonds, the golden ring and the diamond. Now, I need to do some more research on this, but what really dropped in for me was the original symbolism of the golden ring and the diamond. A ring and a diamond. Where did that come from originally? Because we see that the ring and the diamond is actually a manifestation, an outpouring from our physiology, that it is a representation of our divine wisdom. And this giving of diamond rings to represent an engagement or betrothal has actually become external in terms of, again, subjugating the diamond of self, externalizing that value or worth, and subjugating the divine feminine in an external form. Whereas if we bring that back, we find that now within the cells, in our body, within these tiny power organelles called mitochondria, and that's the journey that we're going to take, is into that circular DNA and the mitochondria today. So, before we start the process itself, that was a little bit longer, but I felt that it was really important to connect that symbolism and the understanding so that you know where we're being guided and where this is actually coming from. So I really feel it's going to be quite a powerful process. Does anybody have any questions before we kick off with the process itself? Hi, Rhoda. Glad you got connected. Well, you're perfectly in time for the energy process. So welcome, and welcome, Pamela, too. I see that you're in a little bit late. So if we've got any questions. How long ago did you say the DNA of the nucleus took over? Well, from what I have been researching and finding out, our DNA was tampered with probably as long ago as 50,000 years. So it has actually been a long, long period of time. And it's really since then that some of the distortions, better late than never, that some of the distortions seem to have been feeding through in our unconscious, and the distortions of the divine feminine, of the truth of our origin and the truth of our essence. So Michael Tazarian's work gives a lot on that, and I'm busy pulling together a lot of the strands so that it can actually start sort of pulling together in a more expansive way. I'm not sure when the grain eating actually started, whether that was about 40,000 years ago. Could have been part and parcel of the whole process. So yeah, I hope it's really a very, to me, this unpeels or peels back even more layers of our understanding of the essence of who we are. It's going to take us right into the heart. You know, who was it that mentioned the heart earlier? We're going to go right into the heart of that power. Glad you're back on again. So the grains could have something to do with it as well. And hence, perhaps, with the rise of the goddess energy, that could also be part and parcel of the allergies that are starting to arise, that people are experiencing these allergies towards grains and wheat. And yes, that grief that we are feeling and that we are aware of is the grief of the feminine as she has been distorted, the grief of that essence carried within us through millennia, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So it is not just our personal. Yes, it is. It's a collective process. It is a collective memory. And it is also, the earth was crying. Yeah, I think the earth is crying. That's exactly it. Mother Earth is connected into this same essence. And it's up to us to restore the power balance, to restore the connection with the natural way and with the natural laws. And this is part and parcel of us doing that. So yeah, very interesting, Angela. Thank you for that comment. Earth crying. Oh gosh, you guys had to go away and you all came back. Well, I'm glad you're back now. So feeling it so strong, I haven't been able to listen. Well, okay, fascinating. So we could actually find some really deep emotional releasing. I can actually feel it building within me as well. Been feeling sort of a really powerful building up for a couple of hours. As we go into this, but that grieving is necessary. It is going to be a part and parcel of the letting go and the restoring of balance. So if you're all ready, are you all ready for us to move into the process? No more questions. Is that all clear for you guys? I'm just going to have a quick drink. No comments. I'm assuming that it's all fine and you're all ready to go. Okay. Right, everyone. So, bearing all of that symbolism in mind and what you have stored within the cells of your body, wherever you are right now, I'd like you to make yourself comfortable. Make sure that you're sitting comfortably. Relax your shoulders, just do a little wiggle and make sure that your body's comfortable. Put your feet flat on the floor. And as you gently close your eyes, you take a long, slow, deep breath in and out. Just allow your body to rest into this space that you are holding at this moment in time. And just take another few deep breaths in your own time. And with each out breath, you allow more of your physical body to relax. You allow whatever thoughts are playing on the surface of your mind to simply drop, connecting with the wisdom of your being in the cells of your body. As your mind clears, so that it can open up the gateway into the divine consciousness. So just breathe in and out. And where you are sitting now, create your diamond field around your physical body. So most of you would already be familiar with the fact that your diamond anchors at the tip of your tailbone at the sacrum or the holy bone, and that the central column extends up along your spine to the soul star energy center above your head and to the earth star energy center below your feet. Feel your body elongating as you create that form. And the central axes extend out left and right, and front and back. So that in the creation or the joining up of all of those axes, you create your 8-sided diamond field around you. And it extends about 3 to 4 feet in all directions. And allow yourself to be in this space as you extend your breathing to incorporate your diamond. That the diamond field breathes with you. Feel it becoming one with the very essence of your being. Feel your cells align and resonate with the energy and the flow of life itself and the breath through your diamond. All comes into a perfect rhythm aligned with your breathing. You feel stable. You feel anchored, protected, and safe. Take your consciousness now down into your physical body itself. And allow it to explore the tissues, the bones, the blood vessels, the organs, that make up your amazing physical form. And just being aware of all of the processes that take place within your body, you have the sense of the divine nature of your own perfect design. In the interactions between all of the components of your physical body, you sense the divine, the sacredness, flowing from one to the other, from blood to organ, to tissue, to vein and back. And your consciousness, through your diamond, which acts as an amplifier, becomes like a magnifying glass, and you are able to zoom in on any one of the tissues or components of your body. Notice where you are drawn, and you zoom in even further. Within the tissue are all of the individual cells that together work in harmony to perform the function of that particular tissue. It is a divine harmony. Once more, see the flow of information that moves between the cells within this tissue. It is a divine flow. And now zoom in even further until all that is within your sight is one single cell. And allow your consciousness to cross the barrier of that cell, through the membrane, into the medium of that cellular structure itself. And you see that every cell in your body, and in this cell there is such incredible activity. And locate within this cell a little mitochondrion, one of the mitochondria, that little powerhouse that's putting out energy. Just notice for a moment, just observe how much energy that little cell, or that little mitochondrion, is pumping out. How much power is it giving you? Does it have a color? Notice if there's a color to that energy that's being produced. And now take your consciousness into the mitochondrion itself as you locate that circle of DNA, the eternal circle that produces the power in your body. And through the lens of your diamond, you project that circle of DNA outwards, so that you now see it as an enormous structure that is as big as you. And it stands in front of you, glowing with a golden color. with the gold of the sacred quintessence of life itself. And beyond this circle of golden glowing DNA or golden light, there is an inky indigo darkness like the dark of a night sky. It pulses with eons of information and of infinite potential. And just stand in your diamond for this moment and watch the energy movements around this golden circle in front of you. Which way is the energy moving? Does it move one way and then another? Is it spiraling? What is it doing? Does it get to a point and then hit a block? What is it doing? And now step into this golden circle, this golden doorway, and notice how when you bring your diamond self into this space, how differently the energy movement around the circle responds. It becomes enlivened, brighter. And just stay within this space for the moment. As you allow your diamond to extend and touch this golden circle, and it turns and rotates around you, and the points where it touches opens up doorways through this golden circle, doorways to the grandmothers, to the goddesses, and to the keepers of the ancient wisdoms. So before we go any further, call in the guardians of this wisdom, the ancient ones who understand the power of this divine knowledge. And notice how they present themselves to you. They stand with you, join with you in this space. Do they present as indigenous peoples? Do they present as archetypal goddesses? Do they present as animals or symbols? Their presence is protection, in the same way that knowledge and wisdom is protection. And once you feel the tangible nature of their presence, you give the intention to activate this golden circle. Give the intention, and that circle begins to spin. Left and right, and left and right, in differing stages, almost as if it is unlocking a code, unlocking a stargate. Your diamond holds you stable within the center. As you unlock these doorways into a time tunnel that draws you into the ancient, ancient past, to the timeless wisdom of the sacred feminine essence. And what opens up in front of you is a tunnel, a time tunnel, through which you can travel in your diamond, along with your grandmother guardians, your goddess guardians. This is a golden tunnel that is opened up through this inky, indigo darkness into the mysteries of life itself. Allow yourself to travel into this time tunnel, and it's going to take you wherever you need to go, wherever the source of wisdom is for what you need to know right now. Follow the tunnel. This is a living library that you hold within your very body. And when you emerge from the tunnel, or from this wormhole through the stargate, you find yourself in a magical land, a magical surrounding, where life is able to express itself in so many, many different ways, where forms can morph easily into other forms, where energy can be changed, moved from one form into another, where colors merge to form new colors, and shapes and forms merge to form composite forms. And the threads of your diamond connect with a grid that you can see running through all of this life. You can see that there is a continual thread that connects everything within this space, whatever life form is being created. Just spend a little while exploring and being in this amazing magical space. Be in amazement and wonder at the untold forms that life itself can take. Where the goddess, the sacred feminine of creation, weaves her way through all of this life and breathes a living breath into each of them. And now ask your goddess or grandmother guardians to guide you to the threads within this eternal grid of life that will take you to the source of whatever wisdom is relevant for you to know, to be, and to express through your physical form at this moment. What is it that you need to know and to act upon that will be your special part or role in the healing of the sacred feminine psyche throughout the eons? What is the part that you were born to play? What is the wisdom that is yours to express? And follow that thread that you are guided to wherever it leads. And now claim that wisdom. Claim that power. By embracing it. See yourself taking it into your body. See yourself saying yes to the power. Saying yes to the healing. This is a powerful time for the emergence within the physical reality of this sacred divine mother. Even if your wisdom or power is presented to you as a symbol, you inherently know and understand the message in that symbol, even if you don't consciously know it at the moment. Take it on board, bring it back with you. For within you, you are connected to the web of all of life. And what you do now and how you use your power will determine how you step forward into your future. Notice if there are any other threads within this environment that are attracting you, that are resonating so strong that you simply have to follow them and trust. Above all, the Divine Mother asks us to trust in the sacredness and in that power that is within us. Follow that through. And claim what other wisdom or additional insights you are given. Affirm to yourself, I claim and embody this wisdom now. I claim and embody more of my sacred feminine essence now. As I do this, I restore the inherent power of this force in the world and within me. And whatever magic you see and experience in this place, in the creation and recreation of life in multitude of forms, is an inherent understanding of the magic that is within you, for this place resides within you. Through this gateway is your eternal connection through all of time. And the wormhole or the time tunnel is now beginning to spin and to draw you back into it. Back into the tunnel. Simply allow yourself to be brought back through time. Notice how differently you feel. Until once more, everything condenses and you are standing in your diamond within this golden circle. Now take a look around at this golden circle and notice how it appears, how it looks, how the energy is moving. And also take a look at the facets of your diamond. How does your grid look, your diamond grid? And step back from it. Take another look and allow it to begin condensing back down to its normal size. Withdraw it back into the mitochondria within your body. Focus on it as it withdraws, and then step back and notice the activity of your mitochondrion compared to your first observation of it. What is happening to it now? And that resonance within that golden ring that you have brought back cascades throughout every cell and every little organelle in your body, with a new vibrancy, with a new frequency. It's as if the veils have been dropped from your eyes. You are able to cut through the illusions of this physical so-called reality. And you may notice this happening over the days and weeks ahead, is that you see through things a lot more clearly. And now holding that extra energy in your physical body, bring your attention back into your total form. And now allow your heart to expand with the additional power and resonance that is being emitted from these little powerhouses in every cell in your body. For with the increased sacred feminine wisdom connection is a concomitant expansion of powerful heart presence, heart energy. For the ultimate expression of this wisdom is through the heart. Now amplify that energy out through the interconnecting grids of all of life, and allow that energy to send healing. Allow it to soothe. Allow it to ease where there is pain or heartache, grief, sadness. Let your expanded wisdom touch all of life through the grids. But through their difficulties may their heart be broken open in order to re-experience themselves more fully, whether that's the heart of the planet, heart of people. Feel that power pouring down through time, through those stargates in your cells, out through your heart. With the nourishment of the primal mother. Support and nourish life. And take a deep breath in. And allow yourself to gradually come back to a presence, a waking presence within your physical form. And before you come back to waking consciousness, ask what it is that you can do in order to bring that wisdom and magic into practical application in life. What magic can you weave? And I would suggest that you perhaps do this process or follow the guidelines and do something similar for at least the next 10 gap days as you deepen your connection with that wisdom that is yours within, and that expands your connection and ability to work with the magic of the divine or sacred feminine force, and how that can be applied in the world. Deepen your understanding of it through the stillness, through the enhanced frequencies of the days ahead. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. As you allow yourself to return to waking consciousness, to this place, to this space, to the seat that you are sitting on, and move your fingers and move your toes. And another deep breath in, and breathe out with a sigh as you allow yourself to return. And welcome back. Are you back with us? Or are you all too emotional? Or it was very emotional towards the end there. Okay, you're back. Fabulous. How are you doing? Did you get any symbols? Did you get any... everything started spinning. Yeah? Oh my goddess. Beautiful and powerful. Very much at peace. Yeah. And maybe that's it. Maybe your role in this current climate, in this current energy, is to hold that peace for others so that they can sense it when they come into your space. Feel very still. Maybe for some it is to be able to impart knowledge, to share, to teach. Maybe for others, yeah, whatever it is. So ancient ancestors. That opening, that stargate, and that timeline is an opening into the ancient wisdoms. You can use it to access many streams. Healing and touching others, that's really lovely, yeah? And maybe that's it, just by touching, just by hugging. But way beyond even sort of the indigenous grandmothers, we kind of like go way back. The feminine power with an expanded heart, yes, that's very strong. I was very aware of that, of a very deep resonance within my body. Have you stopped spinning, Duncan? Good. Many colors of gold. Beautiful. You saw the golden ring. To me, that golden ring, and when I was tuning in earlier, I literally could see the energy moving right and then left and then like unlocking a safe, sort of, and literally like a Stargate, like 2 moves right and 3 moves left and 2 moves here to open it up. So it's a really, really interesting sort of process that it does. It is like a Stargate. Yes, you saw that. Good. I got there Bunny saying she saw that. Now we also got here just sharing. Felt tremendous heat at one point. I'm actually feeling it now, I must be honest. And then saw a golden set of steps and was given a golden box with a diamond and a red heart. It's connecting to the feminine, feels strong within me. Wonderful. Yeah, no, I mean, I've had this Stargate analogy sitting with me all day, as I was sort of considering how to sort of work with this, because I know what it is and what it does, and the Stargate thing just kept on coming to me over and over. Again, remembering the clock, and then 11:11, oh, fantastic. Remembering the name of the necklace, which was my mother's. Oh, how wonderful. There we go, the greenstone malachite. Just came to very deep at end. Think I want to listen again as grief has been strong. Yeah. I felt that towards the end. I really did feel that part and parcel of what we are doing with this process as we bring the wisdom through is we heal the wounds that have been perpetrated upon the human psyche, the wounds that have denigrated the divine feminine. That have denigrated the sacred essence within every single human being, because it's not just a feminine thing, it's just that it connects us back to the primal feminine mother essence. Lots of golden white bright light with the energy darting in and out of the center. Beautiful. What a lovely description. And I think each time we do that, we will be bringing forward some aspect of healing for the global psyche. So we are mending the grids through time. Think about the diamond and the grids. Rashida, I'm receiving so many downloads as we speak. Well, what I'd like to invite you to do is that over the days ahead is please share your experiences. Again, it just is so wonderful to share them with others on the call. Thank you for all of your sharing now. So that we can put it out there to share. Excuse me. Oh, that's strange. Oh, that was odd. As a catch in my throat, I'll have to edit that out. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to end the recording, I think. So, yes, please share. There's probably a lot of emotion going on there. But what I would actually just like to say is thank you for being a part of this again. The power of doing it as a group is so much more, we know it's exponentially amplified as opposed to doing it on our own. So thank you so much for staying the course. I can't believe it's almost an hour and a half. Thank you for being here again. I'll send you the recordings, obviously, as soon as I've got it downloaded. Bunny, thank you. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, all of you, with your messages. And please let me know what arises for you. Oh, wow, Duncan. Circles, golden circles. Moving up your legs into your body. Fantastic. Keep doing it. Keep on doing it and notice what insights arise for you. I think that's the key thing. What insights arise for you over the days and weeks ahead, and then I look forward to sharing. So thank you all so much for being a part of it. I'm going to end the recording. God bless you all, and look forward to the next time we get together.